They are unprofessional in dealing with candidates. They're impersonal, inhumane, and they lack morals and ethics. Recruiters are selfish, deceitful, and they generally lack self-esteem and integrity. All a recruiter cares about is the money. Most of them don't have any clue of how to treat people like people. These are just some of the, let me say, more polite descriptions of recruiters that I found online. But these descriptions, they do jive with what Over 50 TV viewers have been telling me for a very long time about their experience with recruiters. I thought what I would do is just dive into it a little bit deeper. Let's take the pros and the cons. And certainly what I think we might already have arrived at is there's a lot more cons than there are pros. But let's look at this on balance. What I'm going to do is show you the pros and the cons. And then at the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll just give you my opinion. We're going to go ahead and do it. That's all up next, right here on Over 50 TV. Welcome back to Over 50 TV. My name is Lou Reyes. In this video, we're going to examine the pros and cons of taking career advice from a recruiter. Now, I want to make a distinction here. We're talking about taking career advice from someone who is currently a recruiter. I'm not talking about former recruiters who are currently making money dispensing career advice on let's say, on YouTube or maybe in a blog. No, we're not talking about those folks. They remind me of the person that George Bernard Shaw quote where he says, "He who can does, he who cannot teaches." In other words, I'm always going to question a former recruiter's real motive for serving up career advice. My opinion is this: I don't think a leopard changes its spots. It's still all about the money with most of them. Now, if you're wondering about me, I'm the former owner of a chain of business-to-business magazines. I owned a weekly newspaper, a couple national trade show companies. I ran a weekly radio program, and I launched almost a dozen other businesses. I started all of those businesses from scratch. Now, you may be wondering, why am I telling you this? Why am I giving you this information? Well, I'm telling you this because the tips that you get here on Over 50 TV, they're firsthand, real-world stuff from a guy who's employed hundreds of folks and built businesses who have generated millions of dollars. Now, if you see value in getting tips from someone who's walked the walk, well, then subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Over 50 TV. And if earning money, if taking charge of your life, if that's important to you, then consider subscribing to my Side Hustle Rules YouTube channel. I've got a link in the description box. So now let's dive into our video. Let's look at the pros and cons of taking career advice from a recruiter. Let's look at this list of what are the standard pros, or what you hear is a pro when it comes to working with, or I'll say dealing with, a recruiter. And there are 5 of them, as you can see. Number 1, a lot of folks say it's a specialized industry knowledge that you're actually tapping into. It says here, experienced recruiters often specialize in specific industries, and they can provide insights into market trends, job opportunities, and skill requirements. I do think that this is a pro. If you're working with someone who's a real professional recruiter, they actually care about you, they actually know the industry, yeah, this is a pro for sure. Number 2, access to hidden opportunities. They may have access to job opportunities that are not publicly advertised. This can give you an advantage in finding exclusive positions. I think this is another pro, without question. Now, it's not like if you were networking. Well, yeah, we know 80% of jobs are filled through networking. Job openings, yeah, we know that. But still, a recruiter may have some access to a hidden opportunity, something that you don't know about. So I'm going to give them, I'm going to say that. This is a pro. Number 3, professional network. Professional recruiters, and I put the word professional in there. Professional recruiters typically have extensive professional networks, and connecting with them can help you expand your network, which may lead to more job opportunities. You know what? If they're networking, if they're actively networking in the industry or in an industry, yeah, I would give this a pro. Professional network, because they're going to be able to talk to folks that I could never talk to, provided they're professionals and they're somebody who really believes in their industry, really wants to do a good job. Number 4, resume and interview guidance. You know what? if they're good, if they're, like I said, professional, I keep using the word professional. If they are professional, yes, they can offer advice on crafting an effective resume and preparing for interviews, drawing on their experience in the hiring process. And I'm going to say, yeah, this could be a pro if they really are good at resumes. And I say good, what I mean is good at writing a resume, good at selling that candidate. Number 5, negotiation support. I think, as somebody who's been in sales for most of my life, I think negotiation support is a plus if they are a professional recruiter who actually knows how to negotiate. I'm going to talk about that more when it comes to the cons, but if they are professional recruiters, they may be skilled negotiators, and they can provide guidance on salary expectations and other employment terms. So as you can see, there are five pros. There probably are a few others, but these are the primary ones that I've heard. I've had recruiters contact me when I'm with my businesses. They saw that I was looking for somebody. They contact me by phone or email me, and they say, hey, I can help you find a candidate. Invariably, I turn them down for lots of reasons. We're going to talk about those when it comes to the cons. So now let's look into the cons that I've heard, and actually the cons that I've experienced. And let's start with the number 1 con is commission-based motivation. Recruiters are usually paid on a commission basis, which means they earn a fee when they successfully place a candidate. Now, this might lead to a potential conflict of interest, as they may prioritize filling positions quickly over finding the best fit for you. And this is certainly one of the cons that I have heard many times. I've actually witnessed this many times, where a recruiter just wants to make that commission. They try to shove somebody at me when I was hiring folks at one of my companies. And you know what? More often than not, they're shoving somebody at me, and that person doesn't work out. They give me another one and another one. They want me to keep taking folks. That's why I learned when a recruiter called me, I just would politely say no, thank you. I've got a process. I'm doing the hiring on my own. But commission-based motivation, certainly something that could hurt you if you're deciding that or thinking about using a recruiter. Number 2, limited company knowledge. It says here, while recruiters may be knowledgeable about the job market, they might have limited insights into the specific company culture, which is crucial for a successful long-term fit. And again, this is one of those cons that I found to be true myself. It's a con that I've heard from other folks as well. Recruiters, they're not going to know every market. Some do specialize, as we talked about, into one of the pros. But overall, a recruiter just has to make money, wants to make money. They're motivated by that sale. So what happens is they may not know enough about a company. They may not know that I'm a fit or not a good fit. But that's not on top of mind with them. Limited company knowledge definitely is not a pro. Number 3, lack of personalization. It says here, recruiters may work with multiple candidates simultaneously, making it challenging for them to provide highly personalized advice tailored to your unique skills and aspirations. Now, this reminds me, it's always going to remind me of an assembly line or manufacturing company where they just get it going, put you on an assembly line. They've got a lot of other folks that got to right behind you. They've got to fit a part to get them a job. So they just push you through. It's just like you're on some conveyor belt and they're just shoving you through. There's no personalization whatsoever. It's one of the top complaints that we hear, that I've heard. And as you can see in the very beginning of this video, other folks are talking about too, recruiters. They're working with multiple candidates. They don't have time. They've got to make the money. That's what's important to them. I get it. We're all looking at making the money, making that bank. But you know what? It doesn't help when you got somebody who really needs a job, especially an older person, and they're depending on that person. You know what? Yeah, there's no personalization, or very little, often very little. Number 4, potential for inaccurate information. It says here there's a risk that the information provided by recruiters may not always be accurate or up to date. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I know that is true. Job market conditions can change rapidly, and the information that they provide may not always reflect the current reality. Now listen, AI is upending the market. We know this, the job market. Certainly it is. There are jobs like HR jobs. Folks who were in HR thought that was going to be their career. What they're finding out, that 28% of people who took a job in HR are now out looking for a job, because AI has changed the marketplace. And it's certainly, I understand things change, but when they give inaccurate information because they don't take the time to get good information. That's the problem that I have. Number 5, not always aligned with your long-term goals. The short-term nature of their goals, which is filling positions quickly, it may not align with your long-term career goals. They might encourage you to take a job that doesn't contribute to your overall career objective. The problem, or one of the problems with this, is you almost don't want to say no, especially if you're an older worker, you're having a hard time finding a job, it's taking you a while, you got a recruiter, or what we used to call a headhunter, they're putting this job in front of you, this what you think could be an opportunity. You don't want to say no. But you know what? They're not worried about it because they're looking at making their commission. They're looking at making money, which I understand, but it doesn't help you in the short run or in the long run. Now, number 6, we refer to this up in the pros, but number 6 in cons is lack of negotiation support. Professional recruiters may not be skilled negotiators. Becoming a negotiator isn't something that's just, you're born being a negotiator. It's not something that you learn overnight. It takes time. It takes study. It takes work. Their job is to get you in the door, get you placed, and getting that check as fast as they can. They don't have, I find anyway, most of it now. I'm not talking about a professional recruiter. There are a few out there who may be skilled. But I will also say that most folks aren't, in my experience. So in that case, their guidance on salary expectations and other employment terms will likely not benefit you. So let me summarize this video. While recruiters can offer valuable insight and access to job opportunities that you're just not going to have and maybe you're not going to even see advertised somewhere, it's essential for you to approach their advice with what I would just say is a critical mindset. You've got to look long-term at your long-term goals because they more than likely won't be doing that. I think it's also important not just to look at your long-term goals, but to talk to others, to seek advice from multiple sources so that you can make a well-informed decision. Now, I started out this video in the very beginning there. I said, you know, you're going to get real-world, firsthand real-world advice here on Over 50 TV. And certainly you're going to get that, especially in this video, because, yes, I've worked with lots of recruiters, or I should say I've had lots of recruiters want to work with me. And I didn't work with them after maybe the first or second time of dealing with a recruiter. I decided I wasn't going to do it because I found it wasn't valuable. In addition to all of that, it was very expensive dealing with a recruiter, and the value that I got just wasn't there. My recommendation, as I already said in the summary, is go into it with a critical mindset. Seek advice from a lot of other people, multiple sources, and only in that way can you make a well-informed decision. Well, that's all I got for you today, my friends. If you do have any questions, please go ahead and make a comment, send me an email. Don't forget to if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to Over 50 TV. If you're looking to potentially start a side hustle, you're thinking about it, or maybe you're in business and you want some advice, you know what? Subscribe to Side Hustle Rules. That's, as I said, my other YouTube channel. There's a link in the description box. Well, as I always say, have a great day, everybody.